Hello everyone, welcome to DevOps for your family. My name is Rajeshwaran. So this is a Terraform beginner demo part 2. So we'll be continuing the Terraform basic level understanding. This is the part 2 video. Okay, let's start the demo today. So the main reason one of the main reason why the Terraform was so popular because Terraform is a cloud agnostic, meaning that in AWS, each and every cloud provider have their own tool. And if we start with AWS having their own like DevOps tool or the deployment tool for the resources that is we are having the code pipeline is there and we can able to use the cloud formation to deploy the AWS resources, but we cannot able to use the cloud formation to deploy resources in Azure. Same like in Azure, we are having in later days there was Azure RM and people are still using, and now they have a new like deployment or a new version of Azure RM that is a Bicep. So people already adapted for the Bicep and they are using Bicep in few projects for the Azure resource deployment. And likewise, Google having their own deployment tool. But if you want to deploy some resource in Azure or AWS or Google or maybe in Alibaba Cloud, you cannot able to land each and every deployment tool or the automation tool for each cloud provider. So that is the beauty of the Terraform. So Terraform can able to interact with more cloud provider that makes the Terraform more like popular, made Terraform more popular. Like if you see officially, like there is Terraform can able to deploy resources in Azure, AWS, Google, Kubernetes, Active Directory, and these are HashiCorp and Nomad and Terraform Cloud, VMware, vSphere. We can able to deploy our resources which is in on-prem. So likewise, if I learn Terraform, I will get I can able to survive or I can able to deploy or I can bring more value in my work area or in my project to deploy or the automate my work by Terraform deployment, right? So that is the power of Terraform. And let me go to my readme.md. So yesterday we just stopped what is the benefit we are having if by using the IAC. So now let me today start with Terraform installation. We can able to install Terraform on Windows and as well as the Linux machine. And let me just go to this URL. So this is the official URL from HashiCorp that is can able to install the Terraform by referring this page. So if you have a Mac OS, you can just follow this one. You need to download and you need to install that one. And for Windows, you need to just download, and this kind of a exe, you no need to like install anything. You just need to download and you need to create a folder and you need to set the environment variable if you are a Linux, if you are a Windows user, or if you are a Linux user. After downloading the zip file, you need to just move that to the user local bin so that we can able to run the Terraform from any directory from Windows as well as from the Linux. So this is for Linux and this is for Ubuntu Debian and this was CentOS and Red Hat and Fedora, Amazon Linux, and this is for Homebrew, that is our macOS. Okay, fine. So we just need to download and make a directory, move the exe or the binary to the directory, and we need to just set the environment variables. If I show you, if I go to this one, if I go to environment variables, if you go to path, if you edit, can able to see my Terraform here. Yeah, you see Terraform 1.7.4. I just created this one, and if I go to that C Terraform, right, I have my Terraform exe. So if I click for, yeah, you just need to download and move the exe, create a folder and move the exe, and we need to create a environment variable for that one. That's it, we are done. So we can able to just run Terraform from the system anywhere. See, this is the like 1.7.2. So I need to update this one. Yeah, I will do it later. Okay, fine. So going back to my readme.md. Fine. So this how we can able to install the Terraform exe in our system, and we are going to like see how we can able to deploy the resources in AWS, right? How we can able to automate the resource creation in AWS. So there are few prerequisites. First, you need to just create a AWS account. There are some videos you can refer and just create a AWS account. After creating an AWS account, you are logged with your root account. So the first foremost thing, you need to set a MFA, that is a multi-factor authentication for your root account, followed by you need to create a IAM user, because you are not supposed to, as a best practice or concerning the security things, to avoid some security breaches. You can just log in with always with your IAM user, not usually log in with your root account which you created at your first login by referring the AWS video or something like that. Okay, so let me show you what I'm referring here. So if I go to this page, if you see, this is the Rajeshwaran, this is my account ID. Okay, and let me just sign out. So okay, so after you by referring the video how to create a AWS account, once you are done, so we'll be just going to log in with this console.aws.com. So let me just open console. Yeah, so this will ask for your root user account which you created as a part of first registration. So here I have already enabled the MFA. You also ensure to enable the MFA for this one. So let me just log in with this one. Okay, yeah. So after I log in, I need to first create a user account. That is, I previously I explained you we need to create a IAM user, right? So this root account have more privileges, so we don't need to log in with this root account frequently. Instead of, if you just go to security credential, first I will show you how to enable the MFA for this one, this root account. If you go here, the security credential, there will be a tab multi-factor authentication. Just add this one and you just type a device name and you can just download a Google Authenticator, and I will just, yeah. So if you download the Google Authenticator, you just scan this one and you need to enter 2 consecutive code, then you are done. So whenever you are accessing this portal using the root account, you have to authenticate with the authenticator app, that is the MFA, multi-factor authentication. Fine. This is the first foremost thing we need to set up. The second is we need to create a user, right? So if you see, I have one user, VAH user one, and Hava, this is for something I have created, and this is for my automation which I'm using this account. So I'll just create test, and I'm not going to check this one because I'm using this as a API. I'm not going to log in this account, meaning that I have my Terraform account created, right? I have not enabled this option. It will be only for the API interaction, not for the console management login. Okay, so here you need to attach a policy. So in production, it will be like kind of a very secure account that will be used to provision the resources. So you need to just add the administrator access here. Next, and if you want, you can just tag name test Terraform create user. And if you see, this user is created now, test. And once you create the user, you go to security credential, you need to create access key and secret ID. What does that mean? I will explain you later. So here you just choose this command line interface, and I just need to agree this one and just a description, and yeah. So you will be generating access key and secret key, because in order to like speak with the AWS, you need a mechanism to authenticate, right? So we can able to authenticate only using this access key and secret key using Terraform. If I'm a normal user, I can able to connect I can able to log in using my username and password, right? But this Terraform is going to talk to the AWS using this access key and secret key, and you need to keep this access key and secret key in a very safe place, and you can download and you can be able to save in a vault or something. Okay, done. Now I'm canceling. I'll be just deleting this one because I don't need this one. This is just a test one. So because I have already created an account for me for the deployment. Yeah, done. So now I have deleted. So if you see, this one also I have created a access key and secret key. Yeah, two access key, one is active. If you go here, if you see, so I have used the access key 42 minutes for before I like record this Terraform series. Okay, and this was created before 86th day. So here I have used a key before and I have just deleted that one and I am regenerated a new key. That's the reason it's saying inactive. That means I have disabled that one, nothing else. Yeah. For the security reason, I don't, you go right, this will be inactive. So currently I am using this one. The description I have given DFU. I will show you what is this one. Okay. And this Terraform IAC I have disabled to rotate the key for the security concern. Okay, so now what I will do, I will log out or sign out from this one. Okay, probably I need to log in again to show you something for the URL. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, and I have to authenticate with this one. Okay, so one, you have the root account and you have created a new user that is called like bah1. I will show you again here. Go to users. I have one for Java. This I will delete sometime later, and this account I'll be using with the IAM privilege. Okay, if you see this one, this was assigned with the administrator access, and also I have created a MFA for this account also. Okay, so there are two users, one for automation, that is Terraform, another one is for BAH, that is the IAM user. Okay, now if the BAH user one need to log into the portal, he cannot, I have, he cannot able to log in with the root account, right? So I have made a custom URL. If you see here, I have just made my last name and my first name, and if I just get this URL, okay, so now the URL look like this, that IAM user, he can able to sign in with this customized URL, and the name is BH1. This is the name and password I will type. And I have already set up the MFA, so I need to just log in with this one. A2, yeah, yeah. So now I'm logged in with the IAM user. If you see, EAH user, not the root account. This is the IAM user. Fine. Okay. So I have already logged out from this one. Yes. Okay. This is also my IAM user. Fine. Now, so I will just go through another one or two important points. Then I will wrap up this video and we'll catch up in the next video. Okay. So we have the IAM. We know now how to install the Terraform, and we know what is the root user account and how to enable the MFA and how to create a IAM user and how to assign the MFA for the IAM user, and also we need to attach the administrator policy for the IAM user. Now let us go to the real IAC configuration, or I can say the underlying building blocks or the basic requirement of the Terraform. Okay, so first we will see what is provider. Provider is nothing but the cloud provider. We can call the cloud infrastructure who is giving the infrastructure to us, right? So if I go and check for the Terraform provider, and Terraform is owned by HashiCorp, or now it's secured by IBM, that's okay. But provider means this is the cloud, or I can say they are the one responsible for creating and managing the resources inside their boundary. I can say if I'm saying AWS, if Terraform want to talk to, or the approach how it will take place, like Terraform needs to talk to the AWS provider using the access key and secret key which we created as a part of the IAM user credential. Then it uses the resources to deploy whatever the resources we defined in our Terraform or in our desired configuration. So provider is nothing but they are responsible for creating and managing the resources. Okay, that is called provider. And the next one is resource. So if you see, if I go to AWS, okay, these all, like, I can just go here for a better understanding. If I go to Google and type AWS Terraform resources, okay, so what is resources? I can just type resources here. So resources is nothing but the actual resource that we are going to deploy inside the AWS infrastructure. Okay, so if you see here, I will just type an example of EC2. Okay, so if you see here, there are many resources. Okay, these are all data resources. I will come to this one, and we need to look for EC2 underscore maybe instance. Yeah, so if you see this one, resources, this is DB resources, and yeah, AWS EC2, this is AWS EC2 AWS instance. I'm just maybe EC2. Yeah, yeah. So if you see here, these are the resources. Inside this one, there will be a plenty of resources here, right? EBS default key, EBS snapshot. So EBS in the sense elastic, this one, right? So if I go to resources here, elastic block storage, that is the EBS that we will attach to the EC2 instance. So if I want to create a EC2 instance, or I don't know how to create a AWS EC2 instance, right? So we have to come to this AWS Terraform registry, and we need to just check for the resources what we need to create. So then only it's kind of a I can say a process, or if you do more research you can able to like get the details, or you can get more hands-on experience on the resources. Okay, so if I go to Google and just type AWS EC2 instance, okay, so and it will give Terraform. I will just check with Terraform. Okay, so you go to this link. This link will give me how to create a AWS instance. But you don't know, like, how do I know this is called instance? Then you need to come here, right? If you see here, this is the instance, and if you go to VPC, that is the network, or you don't know what is that one, you need to explore this one. So VPC, it's a virtual private cloud. We are defining the CADR for our infrastructure, the network layer, and inside we need to have a subnet, and inside that we need to create a route and route table. Then we need to associate the route table with the route table with the subnet. Okay, and internet gateway, I will go through this one by one. When we deploy the resources, we are going to deploy all the resources using the Terraform. So currently we are more interested to deploy a EC2 instance, right? So if you see this one, resource is a keyword. That's what I written here. So resource is a keyword, and AWS instance, this is the actual resource name that we are going to create inside the AWS. And web, this is the internal name. So if you see my readme.md provider, we have already like gone through that one. That is for creating and managing the resource. And next we are exploring now the resource. A resource, first it will start with the resource keyword, then resource name, actual name. For example, there will be a network component called VPC, subnet, route table, EIP, internet gateway, and EC2. We are having EC2, that is called virtual servers, and there will be a DB servers and elastic IP. There are a lot many more. So they are called like resources. Okay, and followed by the resource internal name. This name can be anything we can define, but keep in mind, in any case, if you change the name, the exist, for example, you have created a resource with this block, and if you want to just change this name after this instance creation, it will go and destroy, and it will recreate the instance from the scratch. So keep that in mind. Okay, okay, fine. So I will explain all this variable, data reference, output, backend, remote backend, provisional, file provisioner, and remote exe. There will be lot many things. Okay, so now I think we have already gone through this step, right? Pre-request. So we have already enabled the MFA, and I have created a Terraform user. For example, if I want to configure, okay, some, the how do we interact with our laptop to the AWS, that is the provider called AWS, using access key and secret key, right? So that is a command, AWS configure. So if you type this command, this will ask you to enter the access key, secret key, and what is the region you are going to deploy and what is the data format. Okay, and I will show you. I have many keys with me, so I'm not going to configure anything. I'll be just showing you how to configure. Okay, configure list profile. Yeah, so I'm going to use this DFU profile for our demo and the deployment. And how do I created this one? Because I'm experimenting a lot many things with this Terraform, Jenkins and Dev SecOps and lot many things. So I have created a separate profile for each and every deployment. So if you want to have only one default profile, you can just go with AWS configure. Else you need to define the name so that there will be two files. One is, once you enter this one, I will show you the path, AWS configure profile DFU, then it will ask for me the access key, secret key ID, and the region and the output format. So once I enter this one, then if I execute this AWS configure list profiles, I can able to see this DFU. So this is the profile name, and what is happening behind the screen. That means after we enter this one, it will go and create. I go to my user account. There is a .aws folder, hidden folder will create. Inside that one, there will be two files. One is config, another one is credential. This credential file is something very, very sensitive, so I'm not going to like open this one, but eventually I will open this config. So inside this one, so you have that profile mapped with DFU, right? So how this was created by configuring this AWS configure hyphen profile, so that it will create an entry with this one. Okay, and what is the other file, the credential file? It consists of all the access key and the secret key details. Okay, so yeah, now what I'm having here is, now we can able to, I have a EC2 instance. So if you follow my words, this is the resource I'm going to create. So I'm having a resource keyword here, followed by the actual resource name in AWS, that is called AWS instance, and DevOps server. This is the internal name I'm having, and AMA is the base image what we are going to uh, configure as a base image. So this will be like Ubuntu 2022, and this will deploy in US East 2 region, that is Ohio. We go here, yeah, US East 2 Ohio. Okay, and we need to, what is security group, that I will show you after. And this user data, what I'm doing here, I'll be mapping a path that here I'm having install.sh, and I'll be executing this script. This will write the log in this path, and it will start updating the package on my server, and it will install git, and it will set the host name to DevOps server, then it will install git and unzip and tree, and it will install docker, and it sleep for 10 seconds, then it will go and install kubectl, and it will install EKCTL, then followed by Terraform. The Terraform version I'm having here is 1.2, that is the latest version, and it will sleep for 5 seconds. Then it will output execute all the command hostname. So I will get in the log, it will be DevOps server, and I will get the Terraform version and Docker version and kubectl version and EKS version in my log file, and we can able to like run this manually also, and I'm just exiting the script now. Okay, this is the user data is doing, and key name, if you remember during my starting like demo, I have like explained you that Amazon always allow you to create like a public and private key. It will not username and password while deploying the server at first time. It may be Windows or Linux server. So we need to create a key, or we can also able to deploy that key using Terraform. But for this demo, I have already created a key manually in the console. So if you go and search for key, okay, there will be a key pair. Click this one. Okay, so here if you can able to see KR key. So how we can able to, how do we need to create this one? Just enter a key, test key. And if you remember, I have explained you pem.pem and ppk file. This will be only for putty, so we'll be using pem file. Create a key pair, that's it. So this key will map during the server deployment, and you have the pem key, that is a private key with you, and the public key is deployed during the server deployment using this Terraform. So I'll be deleting this one. So I have already have this key created, that is called KR key, and I do have my private key also with me, so I don't need to have this key. So delete test key, confirm. Okay, it's saying delete. Fine, done. So I am having KR key, that is the key name here. And tags, I am just inputting the server name will be tagged here. Like if you see, if I go to instance, you cannot able to see, but this is the tag, the name of the tag. We will having the server name here, and there will be additional tag. We have a tag separate tag functionality that will be added this onto the tags. Okay, now action. So now I'm having the private key here and public key already there, so I can able to like deploy this server using this AWS resource. Okay, so there will be output, and there will be a variable, there is a security group, and lot many things. I just want you to wind up this demo by deploying the server. Okay, so let me go to git bash, and I'll just also I don't need to input Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform fmt, Terraform validate. I do have a script for that one, that is called plan.sh. What this script will do, it will just go and run Terraform init, and it will just sleep for 1 second. Then it will go and Terraform format. For example, if I go here and in the EC2, suppose I have not maintained this one, then it will go and format this lines. That's what it's doing. And so where is that plan? Yeah, after that it validate the configuration and it's run the plan, and it will just go and apply, and it will wait for the manual approval to proceed. Okay, so now I'll be just running this one. Yeah, this will be more interesting, right? So this is more interesting. I don't need to run Terraform init, Terraform plan, Terraform validate. You see, this Terraform format that align the misalignment which I done before. So if you see, I just dragged this here, right? So it was aligned by the Terraform fmt command, and now it's running. So after this I will show you by connecting the server. Okay, so now it's telling plan 2 to add, 0 to change, and 0 to destroy. So 2 to add, what is the two resources it's going to add? The first one is this one, AWS instance. It's going to add an instance. Internal name is DevOps server, and the next one, if you see, these are the tags it's going to create, and this is the other resource that is called security group, AWS underscore security group. This is the again another resource name. I haven't explained this. I'll be explaining this in my later video. Okay, so now if I press yes, it go and deploy, and also we will get the output of the public IP of the instance which I deployed. So if I go to the output, if you see here, yeah, it will, I will get the output of the instance. Yeah, done. So if you see, this is the IP of the public IP of the AWS instance, and it was created. Apply complete to added. If I go to the console and if I refresh, I can able to see the server now. Yeah, so DevOps server, this is the tag name, and if I want to connect, I go to this SSH client and I'll grab this command, and I just need to, because this kr.pim I have that in my local. That is the reason I'm just mentioning this key name. This is the private key, and yes. So now if you see, we are connected inside the server, right? So we want to just ensure that what is the host name. You see how this host name being applied or updated here using our install.sh script. And if you see here, this script that will write the log in this location, right? So what I will do, I will just tail hyphen 60 hyphen n60, and I'll just go and get the log, right? Okay, I'm not, my bad, I'm not connected with the inside the server, that's the reason. Yeah, okay, so now if we go, I just came, right? Okay, so trail -n 50. What I'm doing here, I'm just grabbing the last 50 lines so that we can able to see the output from the log which is written by the script. If you see, this is the Terraform version and this is the host name, and this is the Docker version, and this is the Kubernetes kubectl version, this is the EKCTL version. Yeah, so almost if you see, compare this one, the output what we are seeing there is this one. Host name, it's already we are having the host name here, right? So yeah, and it will see for 2 seconds, then it will move to Terraform version, and we are getting the version, then Docker version, kubectl version, EKS version, EKCTL version, and the script exit. Okay, fine. So by this way, we have successfully created a EC2 instance, and we have not done any manual intervention for installing this kind of a tools. That is awesome, right? So this is the power of automation. So by leveraging the Terraform and the bash script, we can able to successfully deploy the server. And if I just you name yay, if you see, this is the Ubuntu server, and yeah, and even so this is always okay. I think Ubuntu don't have that one. Cat etc. Ah, my bad. It's not about the command. I need to just have the course. Yeah, sorry, my bad. This time it should come. Yeah. So Ubuntu and the version 24 we have installed. Okay. So yeah, we are fine now. So we have successfully deployed a EC2 instance in AWS cloud using Terraform and the bash script, and we have also deployed the security group for the ingress and egress. So security group, it's like a firewall, software firewall that allow us to connect the AWS instance which is deployed in the AWS cloud. And let me, in my next video, let me go through, let us just go with like variable data reference output backend and remote backend one by one. Okay, thank you, thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel and share my videos if you feel it's useful for others. Thank you, have a good day.